Well, hey folks, this is it. This is the last installment of our book club, All Things New. So I hope you've enjoyed this book. These last two chapters have given us a lot to think about. And in some circumstances, you might find yourself reading it with a sense of, that's just so far down the line, it's hard to think about, hard to make real for me. And then others of us are reading that with tears coming down our cheeks because we long for the day that these events would take place and this marriage of heaven and earth. Something that jumped out to me as I was reading this chapter was my imagination was running wild. That's what jumped out, is like, man, my imagination is really going crazy around what will happen when Jesus comes face to face with me. So Jesus comes, the renewal happens, and I'm going to come face to face with Jesus himself. And he's going to renew me. He's going to restore in me all the broken places and make them whole again. Jesus is going to help me understand why things in my life happened the way they did. He's going to heal my heart in this brutal world that I wake up day after day with little pieces of my heart that have been shattered over and over and over again, and they're all of a sudden going to be made whole. I'm going to experience a tremendous sense of peace and joy and love, emotions that we were meant to experience every day of our existence, but mankind fell, so we have to deal with what we have now, this effects of sin. And Jesus is going to heal that in me. But then also I'm thinking about, what is he going to say about my life? What is he going to say about how I spent the time that he gave me? I'm born in America, so that makes me one of the richest people living ever in existence. I live in Texas, and that's even better. I have a beautiful wife and fantastic children. They're healthy. I mean, I just am going up and up and up in the rare percentages of human history. And all of these things that God has given me, he's going to expect a return on that investment that he's made in me. What is he going to say about how I handled that investment? I often struggle with the reality of it all. Eldredge talks about in his chapter that we oftentimes focus so much on make it practical, make it practical, make it practical, that we lose the wonder of what will actually happen. So instead of making it so focused on practical, like here and now, it can be healing to our soul to focus on the not yet, but soon. The not yet, but soon. So I've got a lot of things going on. I mean, what is Jesus going to say whenever I'm face to face with him? How will I be evaluated based off of what he invested in me? And did I provide a return on that investment? And then how quickly I want to make something practical and helpful for my daily life, and I fail to gaze at the wonder of what's coming. And so that chapter was really helpful in bringing me face to face with God in my quiet times to ask those hard questions. And then, of course, that last chapter is this kind of wrapping everything up. And for me, it was a good reminder to take this seriously. This is going to happen. And there's a section in there where he alludes to things we're going to get back. And I can't remember if it's in this chapter or if it's in a different thing I read, but there's this illustration that was used of, imagine an old pirate war chest. Like it's an old chest of wood, and there's a huge buckle on it that's falls over, and a treasure is inside. And inside that box are all of your broken memories, your traumatized experiences, all of the lost, honest places in your heart because of the trials of life, the wounds that we've all undertaken in our life. It's in that chest. Everything you've ever lost is in there. When Jesus renews everything and restores back to us, he'll stand next to that chest and he'll open that chest up. What are you going to grab first? The laughters of a lost childhood are in there. The warm embrace of your grandfather is in there. The smile from your mom is in there. The innocence is in there. What are you going for first? And that was like hit me hard. There will be a time when my Savior, my King, Jesus, is going to say, I have something for you. And he's going to open that chest up and he's going to give it all back. It's hard to process. And my hope is that you've read through this book and you realize that when time is done, Jesus is going to sit down on his throne, like we read in Revelation. And he's going to say, behold, I am making everything new. And it's all coming back. And that promise is why the good news is good. That promise should be in us a well of hope. And he closes with this question in that last chapter. Where is your hope these days? What are you placing your hope in these days? And this book's given us a lot to hope for. Take care.